Danny, your Oregon Ducks came out with a victory on Saturday at Autzen, where it never rains, 21-7 over Wisconsin.
That was a kid that gets dropped off at the fire department.
What do you mean? I've never heard that phrase.
You never heard like people who give up their kids for adoption in a fire department?
I just told you I've never heard that phrase.
It's an old timey one.
It's a long-standing
dark
trope.
Yeah,
dark. That's when you get dropped off at the fire department.
It goes back to
I thought they dropped kids off at the hospital or dumpsters.
It goes back to like the maybe 20s and 30s.
Yeah, it was
40s,
a safe space to do that.
Yes, exactly.
But yeah, that's what that game was. It was like, I don't want this. You don't want this. Nobody wants this.
Yeah.
It was heinously ugly.
Yeah, it was rough. Offense really, really struggled to get going. They couldn't find a passing rhythm at all. That first quarter might be the worst quarter the Ducks have played all year. Honestly,
I don't think there's a maybe about it.
Yeah,
it was it 3 straight 3-and-outs to start the game?
Yeah, but what I will say, and we were talking about this before the show,
the weather was horrendous.
No, we'll get to the weather in a minute, but I actually think Wisconsin came to play. I thought Luke Fickell had a great game plan, and he came. Dude, that guy's fighting for his job. And he knew eventually they were going to lose, and eventually they did lose, but I thought Fickell had a good defensive strategy against them. Yes, the weather played a part in that advantage, but they were getting after the quarterback. They made Dante feel uncomfortable. They had 21 yards of offense in the first quarter. A net of minus 16 rushing.
The only team that has scored less against Wisconsin this year is Miami, Ohio.
I understand.
So this whole look, I know I'm anti-Duck guy, whatever. I just think Oregon sucked. I think they just weren't good. I'm not giving Wisconsin credit. I'm just not, because you want to say the weather part of it, cool, but you're Oregon. You live in Oregon. You play in Oregon. You practice in Oregon. I don't want to hear about the weather.
But it never rains at Autzen.
It was unusual circumstances. I get that. The weather was sideways.
It was historically bad.
And again, I 100% agree.
It looked fun. I wish I was there.
But both teams had.
I'm so glad I was.
Oh yeah, right. Of all the games to not go to, great call for anybody to go.
It might be like that in Corvallis this weekend. Yeah. I'm buckling up for it.
Enjoy.
I might put a poncho on.
So if you want to say that's what tamps the offense down in the passing game, trust me, I get all that. But I'm just not giving Wisconsin credit because they have sucked all year.
Well, I know they have sucked, but sometimes what happens in these games is that teams can get coached and you can play really well in a first half. This is not absolving the Ducks. I think they were rough.
I think Oregon played worse than Wisconsin played well. That's where I'm at with
that. Might be fair, but I want to give and this isn't I'm not a Duck apologist. You know me. I'm really neutral on this. I want to give Wisconsin some flowers. I think they had a really good game plan going into the game, and they prevented Oregon's offense from really doing anything in the first half. Eventually, they just got worn down. Look, when you got two guys rushing for almost 100 yards each, and Davison has buck 2 and Whittington has 97, when you can do that, eventually the war of attrition winds them down, and Oregon comes out with a victory. Yes, I knew that's how that was going to go down, but neither team could throw the ball.
No.
The conditions made it absolutely impossible, and I think it all boils down to, and maybe to your point, or maybe, I don't know to whose point it was, when Dante goes out, whether he has a broken nose, sounds like he doesn't have a broken nose, but he took off his helmet, and I see blood.
Didn't feel good.
I've got a fun story to tell you about rain and a broken nose here in a moment, but when Dante goes out, Lanning's just like, okay, this team ain't beating us. It's 14-0 when Dante goes out, and he's like, put in the backup, keep him out. Let's just get out of this game. And I think,
and Brock Thomas came in pretty good.
He looked all right. Yeah. Clearly he's the backup, and maybe we'll ask Tyson Alger on Wednesday about Brock Thomas.
What happened to Austin Novosad?
What happened to everybody else? But I think eventually they were winding them down because eventually talent will outbeat you, and I think Lanning knew that, and I think Fickell knew that. But what did Wisconsin do on the first play of the game? Went for an onside kick. Give Fickell some stones. That guy came in and was like, we have a chance. I'm going to get fired. Everybody's talking about how crappy my team is. One of the only 3 teams. Look, dude, that touchdown that they scored made their offense 100 points on the dot for the season.
Yeah.
Okay? Go tell me what Northern Illinois and UMass did, because they're the only other teams under 100 points. I don't know what they did this weekend, but I'll give Fickell some credit for coming in and trying to be productive and trying to do something, and it was successful. Now, when you get to the weather part, Yeah, man. When it rains, it rains. I wrote down wind coming from all 5 directions.
Yeah,
That's north, south, east, west, and above.
And if anybody saw Dusty on the field just looking like a soaked rat, you're just like, oh no.
It was like Forrest Gump and Nom, you know?
Yes, exactly.
Little bitty,
just a hood
itty bitty
over.
stinging rain. Sometimes the rain come up from the bottom.
Yeah. It was just like, I felt bad for him. I'm like, oof, bud. Well, you're getting paid.
Yeah, I think once the weather comes around, we'll have some fun with some weather here in a moment. It became of who's going to control the ball, who's going to turn the ball over. I think it was it Davison? I think he had a quote after the game where he was saying, the entire time I'm telling myself, protect the ball, protect the ball, protect the ball.
Well, especially when you watch
when he's got the ball.
Wisconsin
he was like,
fumble 4 times.
Like, I don't even have the ball, and I'm telling myself, protect the ball, protect the ball, protect the ball, because that's what it was going to come down to. Game was ugly.
Yeah.
Ugly. And I ended up texting Dusty yesterday to ask him, because sometimes weather is tough to see on TV.
Yeah.
Like some angles you can really catch it, but like the big pan of the field, it's hard to see.
Oh, yeah.
But when they go down to somewhere else, it's like, oh, God, that is disgusting. And what do you do in those kind of conditions? And this is where I will give the Ducks credit, is they went to the run game.
Yeah.
And that's why Dante didn't need to go back out there, because they were like, look, we're not going to pass the ball.
No.
We're just going to run the football. I don't care who's the quarterback. I can hand the ball off to Noah Whittington.
And the wind swirls in Autzen super weird because of the tunnel and where it's at and all those kind of things. It does. I'm not discounting that at all. Oregon gets the win. It's not a pretty win, but I didn't think they were great. I thought they were just fine. And you can say, well, the game slowed down. You can't be as explosive in the weather, blah, blah, blah. All those things. Entirely true. But I looked at that game and I went, man, there's a lot of, but you get the win. Didn't hurt you. Move on to the next.
Yeah, my apologies. It was Oregon that did the onside.
Onside kick,
I'm an idiot. I was listening half-ish, and for some reason I thought the radio call was telling me it was Wisconsin. So I apologize for being an idiot.
No, it was Oregon.
As Eric, That's it.
There you go.
What is happening?
That's my man, Dusty Hare.
That's Dusty on the sideline, absolutely soaking wet with the wind swirling.
Eric on the YouTube chat says, no point for Oregon to break out the whole playbook, and I agree. Like, I think once you get to halftime, especially once Dante goes out, you might as well just run the football.
Well, you couldn't do anything anyways. You were up 7-0 halftime. But your offense had nothing.
But in your point of
run the ball.
Damn right. This is the first time we've talked about identity a lot in college football this year. And this is the first time where I kind of question the identity a little bit. Like, I don't know, because I was kind of saying the identity is not Dante. It's not a stud defense. It's not the run game. It's kind of win at all costs, and it's kind of adapt.
It's the all of the things.
Yeah, the all-encompassing landing profile of what he's built down there. This was the first time that I was kind of like, what is the team's identity? Because I don't really know. Oregon ran the ball really well.
45 times for 200 yards. And 4.5 yards a carry. And they're too big. The two big dogs. You get 30 carries between Davison and Whittington, and they averaged over 6.5 yards a carry.
And the defense was all over the place. They were great.
Yeah.
And
it should be, because that Wisconsin offense, like as you just said, they've scored 100 points in the season. They're one of the worst offenses in all of college football.
Well, there you go. That offense is really bad. So is the identity defense. It was just the first time that I kind of was like, is there a little bit of crack here?
Because the other side of this too was, Wisconsin's defense was pretty good as far as like being disruptive. You get 4 sacks, you get 7 tackles for loss, you got some pass deflections. Like they were disruptive to the weather played a part, but Oregon also had a lot of negative plays.
Sure.
Just do the math there. 7 tackles for loss, 4 sacks.
Yeah,
that is 11 negative plays.
First quarter is really, really rough.
And this is not the first time that Oregon offensive line, despite it being a Joe Moore Award finalist, has kind of gotten rocked. Indiana and Wisconsin have both put up a lot of negative plays on them.
It's Dante's worst game, I think.
And I'm going to give him a little bit of not even a little. He's going to get a break because the weather was so bad, but he did not look good, very obviously.
Yeah, I think it was the biggest struggle of his Oregon Duck career.
Sure.
And that could lean to why maybe, I don't know the level of his injury.
Who's playing well in that weather?
Nobody.
Yeah. Now,
Ben Roethlisberger is.
Yeah, there you go. Big Ben.
Big Ben is.
Tying Miami of Ohio back in. But, yeah, it's just, I want to give the weather the credence it deserves because it was an S show. It absolutely was. But this is an ifs and buts. We talked about this pre-show.
Candies and nuts?
Yeah. What if the coin goes the other way against Penn State and you're a 2-loss team? The way you look at this game you're like, hey, what is the identity of this team? Now, it didn't happen. They
Right.
beat Penn State. But if that doesn't happen, you know what I mean? Like that's what's in the back of my head right now. It's honestly, it's kind of the opposite of the Blazers. The Blazers are 1-2, but you know the identity of the team. You know what they are.
Yeah, nobody can shoot.
Nobody can shoot, and the defense is there. But you know what the identity is. With this Oregon team, the fact that it can change is both a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing because you can have a great defense. You can have a great offense. You can have a great running game. You can have an explosive passing game. What has been the one thing where you pull the thread every single game? Because it's not on disruptive plays defensively. It's consistent defensively, certainly. The wide receiver room can make explosive plays, but they're not making them every game. The running back room can be explosive, but we don't know who. Like, we're just now starting to see Jordan Davison starting to become the bell cow.
I would say the one thing I can count on Oregon is their run game.
Okay.
That's the one thing I can count on. That even if the first quarter was as bad as it was, especially statistically, that eventually they will wear you down because they have horses.
I agree.
And they stick to it.
Yes.
Like, I've been critical.
Indiana, they didn't.
They couldn't. They had to. I've been critical of Will Stein and his play calling, but I will give him a ton of credit. He sticks to the run game. He really, really does. And I'll ask this question that's being pointed out by some of our listeners right now. Is it fair to just look at this game as don't take much from this, get out of here and go to the bye week?
Go to the bye week because you got to go to Iowa, and you better come correct against Iowa.
Because, I'll ask the question. If it's not piss and rain, is this game different? I think the answer is yes.
You can absolutely say
I think the answer is yes,
Yeah.
and we're looking like 45-0.
I don't know about that. I don't know if they came.
If this is clean weather, this could be Rutgers all over again.
I don't know if they came with it certainly could have because Wisconsin had been so bad. I don't think they came with the correct energy in that game.
Boy, the Iowa game's going to be saucy.
Look, remember everybody's like, oh,
Saucy.
Indiana only beat Iowa 20-15. They only beat them 20-15. We're not worried about Indiana. Now, Oregon can go in there and slap Iowa around. It can happen because they can't score. You're still not going to feel good about it when you leave.
Iowa put 45 on Minnesota. 45-ish, something like that. I don't remember the actual score.
Just,
Big nooner. Rusty, you ready for a big nooner in 2 weeks?
God, I hope not.
At least you get a bye.
Yeah, we're hitting the Great Wolf Lodge this weekend.
Hey.
Hey, that's nice. I'll
Kid's
be in
birthday.
Corvallis.
41 against Minnesota.
I'll be in Corvallis. Come say hi. I'll be drinking.
Well, honestly, Iowa's offense the last 5 weeks. 38 against Rutgers, 15 against Indiana. Indiana's a great team. 37 against Wisconsin, 25 at Penn State, 41 at Minnesota. Holy crap, is Iowa a wagon?
Look out. Don't call it a comeback.
They dropped 47 on UMass, too.
Sometimes you just get a dub and move on. I think that's the sentiment from
Yes.
most Oregon fans. But you walk into the bye week, we'll talk to Tyson Alger on Wednesday, as we always do. We'll move into the bye week. What needs to be shored up? Do you look at everything? Is it everything that needs to be shored up, or is it other things? When we come
Dan
back,
Lanning will tell you that everything gets
everything.
looked at.
Yeah, I know. He hates that 9 penalties, too.